Okay, so Mr. Katongo, becoming an entrepreneur simply means at some point someone needs to understand that they will grow and become a leader. They would take charge of a business. What are some of the things that one needs to consider even as they become an entrepreneur, looking at it from an angle where they're going to be heading a certain group of people?
Okay.
Maybe the leadership skills.
So basically, when, like Daniel said, when a person decides that they want to go into business, basically there are a lot of things that they are thinking about. Like you said, sometimes it's for survival.
Yes.
Sometimes it's to make extra money. But as you are going on, there will be that time when you will not be working alone. So most of the times when you're just starting off, you might be all by yourself. You have an idea. I'll set up this shop, or be selling fritters or whatever it is that the person is doing in their business. But then there will come a time when they will have to work with another person. So from that perspective, what we usually advise is that you have to think about, first of all, your own self, how you manage yourself, and as well as how you're going to manage the other people that you're going to work with. Entrepreneurship is sometimes, especially at the start, we know that a lot of times it appears rosy, especially when you're just seeing the results. You see somebody driving a big car, they're taking nice pictures, vacations. But behind all that, there's a lot of work that goes on. There are a lot of nights when somebody will be all by themselves. A lot of stress, sometimes disappointment, sometimes family members will not even understand what you're doing. You're all by yourself. Sometimes it's friends, sometimes disappointments from people who promise to pay for certain things. So as an entrepreneur, the first part is really to understand how they can manage themselves in terms of their mental health, emotional well-being, and all those kind of things. So there's need to go into that business with like open eyes, knowing that it's not going to always be rosy. So when they understand themselves, even how they manage the tempers, the depressions, and all those things that come with businesses, then the person can now focus on how they can now start managing the other people that they'll come and work with. So, for instance, if you are starting that business tomorrow, even if it's a shop or whatever it is that you want to be doing, you have somebody to work with. So how then do you work with that person? Who reports to who? So this is the part now where you have to start thinking around the management aspect and the leadership aspect of the business. Because even if you're going to work with your wife, you need to define things. And probably as we go on with the program, we'll take you through the ways in which businesses are formalized and how you come up internally in the business to come up with structures of who is reporting to who. Because there has to be some level of accountability. It can't just be, someone wakes up, comes into your business, they take your products, nobody can say anything. So there has to be some level of structure around your business, so that you know what time your people that are going to work with will be reporting. You know who is going to be responsible specifically for what. So that is the part that is very, very critical, especially when you start to formalize your business as an entrepreneur.
And so what are some of the things that should maybe somebody who's planning to venture into entrepreneurship should able to notify about, like they should notice about themselves? Because this is, for example, I want to become an entrepreneur. So I then know to say, okay, at some point I'm going to be heading a certain group of people, and it's not easy, definitely. But what is it that I need to check within myself that should convince me that, okay, you know what, even as I grow, I'm able to handle so much pressure from different people?
Well, that's when you're starting off entrepreneurship, there is a bigger part of risk taking, which is very different from when you're in employment. If you've seen, a lot of people will go to the side of employment because it offers some level of like a safety, there's stability there. A salary is going to come every month. At least you don't have to worry about that. That's the business of the employer to worry about those things. And if you can have even a permanent and pensionable job, you are even secured. Now, on the entrepreneur side, on the business side, when you are starting at a personal level, first of all, you have to understand why are you starting this business?
Yes.
You need to introspect, because if it is just for surviving, you have to understand to what extent you're going to run this business for purposes of surviving.
Yes.
Are you doing this business because that's your passion, or is it for just some extra income? For instance, those people who are working and they're doing some business on the side. So you have to understand really why you are going into the business, so that when you have that clear focus,
yes,
you then start to adjust yourself, knowing that and being aware that a business will come with various risks. So
yes,
at a personal level, understand the why you're starting this business, so that it helps you in the times when you are facing difficulties. The why is a very important thing. So if it is for you to make a living, for you to make money, or you want to make profits,
yes,
you then have to start thinking, for you to achieve this, what do I need to do?
Yes.
At the personal level now. Remember, as an individual, we have different things that we are good at.
Yes.
Right? So you could be good with marketing because you talk very well. Other people are good with numbers, like on the accounting side. Other people are good with understanding processes and systems. So you have to understand yourself also. Apart from what I said about understanding the why you're starting the business, you have to now look at the aspect of what is it that you're good at. Because those things will help you to now start understanding what you need to bring on your team.
On the team, yes.
When you actually start working. Because self-awareness, as I mentioned before, is extremely important. You need to know what is it, what are my limitations, and what am I good at. So that then, even when you're building a team around you, you are going to build a team that helps you to balance
your passion,
your weaknesses. If you are good with marketing, why are you going to bring another person who also in marketing? Maybe you need some other person to help you with the numbers and telling you, look, we need to look at this and this. Maybe someone who is good with processes and things like that. So when you're starting off, it's very important, like I mentioned, understand the why, understand yourself, understand what you are very good at. Then on the other side is also for you to understand your real weaknesses and strengths, because when you are very aware of those kind of things, it helps you to, when you know that you are a person who gets angry fast, you know that if maybe one client owes you, from that awareness, you start...
The client is always right. The client is always right. The client is always right. One rule, the client is always right.
It has been like that?
Yeah, the client is always right. One or another, the client is always right.
They're the ones who are going to give you money. So you have to understand how you adjust yourself. Otherwise, you're going to insult the person who should be, buying your product or service. If you know that you have other weaknesses or challenges, or you start being fully aware of those, so that even as you are interacting with the clients, you know best how to handle yourself.
Yes.
If you know you are not very good, let's say, with public speaking, and you're going to pitch at a group of people, like a business idea. If you know you're not very good with that, either you start working on it, or practicing a lot, or reading books, or YouTube, and all that, or you bring along somebody who can do that better. It's not always that you have to be the one to do it. So that's why we always emphasize on this kind of thing around self-awareness, so that starts to help you. What is it that I'm really good at? There are some businesses who, for instance, they start, you sell things on credit.
Yes.
You know you're not good with telling someone to pay, because
you have a soft heart.
You have a soft heart, and so you have to think, what do I do to make sure that I am protected in this business? If I'm not comfortable with this, how will I go about it?
Okay. So really, when you talk about that, it makes me want to ask now, Lenny, what kind of challenges do people really face when it comes to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
Okay, so entrepreneurship, like Owen puts it, is not an easy journey. And if I'm going to sit and I'm going to tell somebody that everybody can be an entrepreneur, I'll be lying. Because it really takes a lot. we have, like Zambia itself, we have financial problems. Like, you know, a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but where do they access the money from?
Yes.
That's one huge challenge that I know. Because, you know, part of the services we offer at our offices, we give out loans. But you find that you have over 50 people that want loans in a day. And you try and ask yourself to say, okay, fine, we give, let's say, 50 people loans. How are they even going to pay back? You know? So we have financial challenges where there's no money.
Yes.
You know? A lot of people want it. Two, we have challenges with information. A lot of people have challenges to just get the right channels, information, you know. And also we have procedures like PACA registrations. It seems like these are small things just for you. For example, like in Zambia, for us to set up a business, you have all this compliance, like you register a company, do name clearance, you have PACA, you have ZRA, you know. So we have all these other government bodies that are coming in. So here is a person that is really interested in being an entrepreneur, but for them to be able to balance up with all this, it's not really like going to be an easy road for them in the park.
Yes.
So there are a lot of other challenges. Also just environment. You know, you have to deal with family, you have to deal with friends. Worst of, if you're selling products, you have to deal with people that are going to borrow and not even pay you back. So there are a lot of other things that you find are challenging. But in a nutshell, I would say entrepreneurship is not really an easy road.
Okay. Now that you mentioned access to finance, and I know, like you said, part of the things that you do, part of the services that you offer is basically just helping an entrepreneur. So soft loans. In a situation where, you know, someone will come and consult, of course they want to know how they can run their business, you guide them, you take them through the necessary steps, and then they even tell you about the challenge, and they tell them, okay, so we're offering even this, and then they get you know, the finances that they need. How has it been when you're dealing with a person who, even after having access to finance, they still fail to flourish in their business?
So, Becky, that's very common. We have a lot of people, so this is where the problem is. A lot of people that have the finance, they don't have the knowledge. Some are going into entrepreneurship for the fun of it. Like I saw an article few weeks ago where someone was saying, please, let's not normalize like where everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. It's not everybody who can be an entrepreneur. Others, it's okay to work. Because, you know, it's like these days everybody is preaching about entrepreneurship and the idea of getting a job is vanishing away. But initially, we need to normalize that not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Because we've seen a lot of people out there that are running businesses that are slacking. You know, others have the money, but do they have the skill? Do they have the knowledge? No. And you find that others have the knowledge, have the skill, but they don't have the finance. So this is where when somebody comes, for example, we have a business consultancy department in my office where we simply guide. We'll guide you, we'll tell you this is both for local and foreigners as well. You know, what we'll talk to you about, we'll go do a market research for you. For example, if you come to us and you tell me, okay, Lenny, I want to go into selling fritters. I'm going to tell you upfront, Becky, you want selling fritters. What do you know about it? You're going to tell me, okay, this is what I know. But I would rather you give me 2 weeks. I'll tell you, Becky, give us 2 weeks. We'll do a market research for you. What is selling fritters all about? What are the profits? Then from there, when we give you a market research report, then you can tell me to say, okay, this is what I want, or this is not what I want. But you find that most people, they'll just see someone like doing one. For example, someone is going to say, oh, yeah, she's doing business consultants. Yeah, I can do that. I have some knowledge. But you don't know what it had to take to get there. So you're just going to join in without having proper information, proper knowledge about it. For you, you'll be looking out for the profit, but forgetting that before the profit, there is a process. There's a preparation process. So I think a lot of people fail because lack of knowledge, preparation, you know, lack of exposure. As an entrepreneur, you also need to learn the art of reading and learning. Where most people make a mistake is where they feel, I'm an entrepreneur. what is school all about?
And
others have even normalized it in the street, like, no, there's no need of school. I can make money, degree is not a necessity. But trust me, for any successful entrepreneur, school is important at some point. You just need to learn. It's not even just about learning from a classroom, because we also learn from the streets. So you need to learn how to learn from others. You need to have that art to be able to go out there and learn from others. Because today I may be consulting on business, but Owen is into HR. There's so many times I run to him, so many that I bag his phone and they'll be like, Owen, I need you to tell me about this. Because there's always something new.
Yeah.
So if you're just going to see and say, no, I've been doing this for 10 years. No, that's why you find that other businesses, they'll be successful for 10 years. And all of a sudden you hear that business go, but why? That one they were doing
well. I was actually going to
well.
ask you, because we've seen some businesses start up very good. They have everything going. Then along the way, you just hear they're not.
Yeah. So it takes a lot. You find that you start very well. You know, it's like a plane now. When starting, it's a bit... When you're taking off, it's a bit shaky and comfortable, but when you're up the sky, it's all rosy. But again, when you're landing, it's again uncomfortable. So you find that people fail to balance it up right there.
Okay. Let's talk about how one can just formalize a business.
So basically, I think it's all about, you start with the name clearance. I think I'll just dot it down, briefly. So it depends with what business you want to start. Remember, the most common types of businesses people are doing in Zambia, it's either you register a limited company, or let me say a company, or a business name, which I think in Zambia I've noticed most people are using business names. So the only difference between a limited company and a business name is because for a limited company it has its own personality.
Okay, so
a company gets its own status, but for a business name you're still attached to it. For example, like Wakwanis is like a business name because I'm alone. I don't have any other partner. It's like me. So the name is still attached to me. But let's say for a limited company like Trade Kings, it's a name on its own. Trade Kings, you know. So it has its own corporate personality. So basically, but all of them, you still have to go through the name clearance, you know. You do the background name clearance, you give them 3 names, they pick one, which is obviously most available, register it. Once the name clearance is successful, you go to registration. And lately, I think ZRA is almost automatic, where you do your ZRA certificate comes out. Then now you go to all these compliance. Let's say if you want now to have like an office or a trading place, you have all these now council permits, you know, business levy, fire certificates.
I would really want you to probably start with especially ZRA and PACRA. But before we do that, let's just get a word from our sponsors.
So what does clear mean to me? It's having a clear vision of Ubefubi, a clear mind and a clear voice. Being transparent about who I am in my lyrics. Bar of the bar this week. Vatra, hydrate, celebrate. So what does clear mean to me? It's having a clear vision of Ubefubi, a clear mind and a clear voice. Being transparent about who I am in my lyrics. Bar of the bar this week. Vatra, hydrate. So what does clear mean to me? It's having a clear vision of Ubefulu, a clear mind and a clear voice. Being transparent about who I am in my lyrics. Bar of the bar this week. Vatra, hydrate, celebrate. So what does clear mean to me? It's having a clear vision of Ubefulu, a clear mind and a clear voice. Being transparent about who I am in my lyrics. Bar of the bar this week. Vatra, hydrate, celebrate. So what does clear mean to me? It's having a clear vision of Ubefulu, a clear mind and a clear voice. Being transparent about who I am in my lyrics. Bar of the bar this week. Vatra, hydrate, celebrate.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Business Day right here on Millennium TV with me, your host Rebecca Gobena. Do remember we're coming to you live on your Top Star decoders and also live streaming live on Facebook. It is Millennium TV Zambia, and today we are discussing becoming a successful entrepreneur. And with me in the studio, like I said earlier, I am being joined by Lenny Wakwane Banda, CEO of Wakwane Business Consultancy Firm, and also Mr. Owen Katongo, Management Leadership. He's also specialized in HR. So we now continue with you. So before we went on a break, I clearly wanted to understand how the procedure is done, because I know a lot of people would always come up and say, "What to wake up and give a name to a shop, or I name my business, then I start my business." How is the procedure? What is the first thing that someone who wants to be an entrepreneur needs to put into consideration?
Okay. So basically, like I earlier started, first thing you need to put into consideration, you cannot wake up.
Yeah.
Every place has norms, rules, and laws. So you cannot just get up one morning and say, okay, my Becky, you and I, let's start up a business.
Yeah.
It's going to be Lenny Becky, and we go print up a name and put it there. No, of course not. So it all has to start from the name clearance, where you go to Pakra, you suggest 3 names. You give them 3 names, they will which they feel is not contradicting with obviously any other name of the laws. Once the name clearance is done, the next thing is incorporation or registration. So you can either register it as a business name, for example, if you're just alone, or you want to run it as a sole trader.
Yes.
So you can register it as a business name. Let's say a company, a limited company, you want it to be a company on its own, you don't want it to be attached to you. You can register it as a limited company. Yeah, so after registration, basically that's the most important part.
Yes.
Because once the registration is done, you know to say, okay, now at least I have a name. And these days, ZRA, it's like automatic. I've noticed like immediately you register a company, it's like the Pakra system and the ZRA system. Lately, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're like attached. You have your, if you key in your TP, you have your certificate, ZRA certificate, tax certificate. Yeah. So from there, you know, you're already set on a path. So if it's a business name, you're gonna look at things to do with, if you want to now trade, like to put a poster, Rebecca, like you really want it. You want to have your poster there, your office there. So you now go into looking for premises.
Yes.
And now this is where now council comes in, you have to be compliant. So now you look at, also depending on the company you have council, you have NEMA, of course, that's if you're going to have employees. NAPSA, of course, all these other government bodies now coming. But most importantly, you need to have your business levy, especially if, let's say, it's a salon, it's mandatory for you to have your business levy, your fire certificate. So you have those like in check. Yeah. So they're not very lengthy procedures, but I can say, like I said, some of the challenges is all about the finance, because obviously Pakra is not free.
Yes.
You have 93 kwacha, 90 kwacha somewhere there for name clearance. Then you have registration fees. It may seem like small monies to others, but to others it's a huge challenge. Then you have this, for example, if you want to trade, because I have a lot of questions like where someone will be like, no, I love doing trades. I want to open a salon. Last time I tried it, they closed me down because I didn't have business levy. So you have to look out now for monies like, which I was saying, some of the challenges, because you still have to pay to the council for you to get your business levy, fire certificate, which they have to come and check from time to time. Yeah. And then you have also ZRA, you also have to but otherwise not a very lengthy procedure, but a lot of challenges with the finance.
There has been talks on people failing to differentiate when it comes to acquiring a TPIN as to when you want to open a bank account, and then also in relation to a business and how the TPIN for the business works. Maybe dwelling on that one, would you mind just explaining how the TPIN process works, especially when you're opening a business?
Okay, I'll give an example with myself. I think you use the same TPIN. For example, if you're running like a sole trader, like let's say my consultancy, I use my same TPIN that I've used for years, because that's the same TPIN you use for your business. It's the one you use to register ZRA. It's the same one you take to the bank. So mostly sometimes you find that in the banks they even ask you for that ZRA certificate, which has your TPIN there
already.
So you simply just take it to the bank, and I think mostly for any business, be it sole trading or registered company, like a limited company, you still need to have your bank accounts. If it's done big, they have these called Tamanga accounts. They're motivational, like for sole traders, and then they have these business accounts, like just for limited companies.
Okay.
So it's basically the same TPIN for me personally. Unless Owen.
If you registered as a limited company, there, of course, they will also give you a TPIN which you can use for opening bank accounts.
Now, Mr. Katongo, we have opened a business. It's running. And then now we need to find an accountant. We need to find marketing. We need to... And when I look within myself, I say, look, my young sister is already doing marketing. My young brother is already an accountant. How do I... Obviously, I don't want to spend a lot of money on other people. I would want to empower my siblings as well. But how do I then make the right decision when it comes to just creating a whole body of a business?
So the scenario given happens a lot of times, actually. You're starting a business, the first people you think of
are relatives.
The relatives, and in many cases they are going to work with you, with probably less pay. To say cheap labor, but yes, probably they will.
But what is cheap labor?
I'll say affordable labor.
No. That's a wrong mentality. That's a wrong mentality. That's an employee. It's a direct family. Family is family at home. Work is business.
Exactly. So, because they are family, there is some level that you expect them to understand that you are still just starting off, and they should support you and so on. But what we normally advise businesses and entrepreneurs is that you need to really set up your business now, because after you've done all your registrations, you then internally now in your business and you start looking at how do I set up. So like we said, you have a very simple structure. How many people do I need? And what will they be doing? Remember, the people that are going to work with you, there's what we call a labor cost. They come at a cost, but it's not just that they're coming to assist you. They will be working with you as employees, regardless of the relationship that you have with them. Cousin, sister, whatever it is, the relationship that is there. But the moment they start working with you, by law, they now become employees. And so you need to be very now going to work with them. You start looking at, first of all, because this labor is going to be a cost, you look at the businesses. How much will your business be generating? Because if you find that your business is generating, let's say 10,000, and you are spending 7,000 on salaries for the people that you are working, it's really not making any business sense. So you have to then look at how many people do I need and what will I be paying them. So there are laws, for instance, in Zambia, which pertain to minimum wages for the people that are going to work with, those protected workers, let's say gem workers or a driver or whatever. There are laws that stipulate how much you should pay them. So you should pay attention to those kind of things, because unfortunately the law does not look at the face. You could agree on the side that, okay, please understand me, we're not making so much money. But when things go sour in your relationship, it could even be your cousin or somebody you know. They'll take you to labor office. Labor office will not say you agreed. There's something called, if your contract with that person is not enforceable by law, you are required to pay what is the minimum wages. So formalize things, have a structure, look at how much money you'll be making in the business. Usually there are some ratios that when we're sitting with owners of businesses that we look at and say, you cannot spend more than this. Because let's say if you're spending more than 30% or so of the money you're making, or 50% or 60% going into paying for labor, then you don't have money to now put back into the business. And hence those kind of things that you're talking about, where you have seen this business that is starting and maybe there are so many people there, all of a sudden it's collapsing because there was no money being pumped back into the business. So you need to look at the number of people that you need to have and what levels, so that then when you are now working with those people, you again also make sure this will be your job, and you can even tell them at some point. Usually we help people with coming up with contracts and things like that, because if you are not going to work, and this happens a lot when you have family, because there's just some understanding, then those same people sometimes, because they down the road they are not motivated, if you brought in even other people who are not your relatives, they are also seeing what your relative is doing. Eventually it starts to kill the business.
Going down.
So you need to be very focused that now we are going to start running a business. You talk to the people that you're going to work with, make them understand that this is now business, it's not family. Family will have family relationships.
So it is actually possible to work with your family? It
is possible, but it has both advantages and disadvantages.
Mrs. Banda is saying otherwise. She's clearly saying otherwise.
You know what? I'm not really saying otherwise. Truth be told, let's be honest here. For our colleagues, like let's say, for the Indians, for them it's a normal thing. It's something they've grown up with to work together. But the problem with us Zambians, I don't know who bewitched us. Let's just be. It's usually more difficult to actually manage. Let's say relatives. But I must state that I'm one of the most fortunate people, because I work with my sister. My biological sister is our accountant in the office, and I can gladly tell somebody that she's by far the very best.
Oh wow.
So it also goes with your upbringing, your upbringing and the background where you're coming from. But otherwise, sometimes it could be very challenging, because I have friends who've completely cried. Like I have a friend who was doing very well, running a salon. She left the sister there. She would be working up and down. By the time she realized, the sister closed the business and went and opened her own.
Oh no.
Chewed almost everything. So you see, it takes a lot, depending on the relationship. So you also have to look at, like, for example, Becky is my sister. What is Becky's strength? Much as Becky can be an entrepreneur and also, let's say, a marketer, how good is she as a marketer? And like you put it, how are you going to relate with other employees? Because what the risk is where your own relatives are the ones misbehaving. Trust me, your management, your whole leadership skills will be tested.
Big time.
Not only will you be tasted, but you reach an extent where you feel like you're not good enough. And you know, already entrepreneurship is not an easy road.
Yes.
And the best you can have with a right team, it's easy for you to excel. Because it's about your understanding, getting a team that understands the vision and the passion. Remember, it all goes about the vision.
Yeah.
That's why you see every company, they'll say, no, they have a vision, like a statement, a mission statement, a vision, something there. Like for us, we say delivering beyond expectations. So you need someone to understand what is this delivering beyond expectations. What is it all about?
What are they giving beyond
Yeah,
expectations?
so it's not really like a bad idea, but you need to have serious caution. I wouldn't just advise anybody just because you're sisters, you sleep in the same bed, or you are cousins, or you have a certain family background, and then you just get up and you say, let's start business together. We have some that have failed terribly, and we also have some that have succeeded. So it's a 50-50 game. You need to look at, okay, who am I dealing with? Otherwise,
If they do something wrong, you can't even punish them.
it'll be difficult. They run away with your money. You won't take your sister down. You're the one going to suffer a loss.
Yeah.
So it also depends with, okay, this is my sister. Is she having the same passion as me?
Yeah. But key to that is just to add that normally if you're going to work with either relatives or non relatives, have systems and structures. You should, like we said, have this structure set up, who's reporting to who, when do you receive reports. Things have to be very clear. Even define the roles. And those are the things that we normally help with businesses. You have to define the role. What is your role? If your role is to looking at the money, you are not being found in this other side. Be very clear. We know you may have only maybe 2 or 3 people. Even the 3 people you are working with, define what they are doing. And when they do their job, pay them what is required.
But isn't it hard? I mean, it's my business, and I'm probably the accountant there, but I see my general manager handling my business in some type of way. Won't I be forced to question?
So again, this is why we are saying.
I can't wait to see if Becky setting up a company every one of the months. I'll be a face client.
I'm wondering to say, clearly, I get the fact that we need to allow each department operates independently. Yes. But the aspect where it's you are the CEO, and you're seeing something else is happening,
and you're the owner of the business,
and
you're seeing.
How do you train your mind to just staying in your lane?
So if the owner of the business, entrepreneur, definitely you have to understand everything. You need to understand the marketing side, the financing side, the HR side. Have some basic understanding.
The learning, that's what you need to learn.
So once you understand this, if you have given someone to do a particular job, you need to hold them accountable for that. If they are not doing something that you have taught them to do, and that's why we say pay a lot of attention to people that you are going to work with. You have been told you need to do this at that particular time.
Yes.
There's no discussion. My friend, do it. If you can't do it, get out. It is as simple as that.
But now the get out part is where you have a challenge if you're dealing with your sister.
With a relative, yes.
So that is not even a bigger problem.
Oh, okay.
That's why we say if you remember when you are bringing them on board, this is why we're saying this is now a formalized business. You need to have a discussion. What are you coming here to do? It's not to chill, to spend time, no, because I have nothing to do. Okay, then you can be, no. It's a serious business, and that's why there's a lot of conflict in some businesses. Make things very clear. You're coming in here, my friend. Yes, you are my cousin, you are my what, but in here you're going to be doing this.
Yes.
At the time that the person is not doing what is required of them, or they are not behaving, I say 2 things, behave and perform, like a BP. If they are not behaving or performing in line with the requirements of your business, you simply have a discussion with them. You can go the hard way or dismiss the person, or we go a simple way. My friend, we don't think we are on the same page.
Please leave.
It is, and again, where there are legal issues in terms of the processes for separating with an employee, usually we do help with that. There are different ways in which you can separate with a person in a professional manner and in a manner that even if they sued you, they'll still not win the case. You have followed the process. So you have to see, is it a performance issue or behavior issue? This person can't perform. So there will be things that have to be done to make sure that this person clearly see that they can't work? Or is it because maybe you employed 10 people and you realize the business is not doing well, so you're going to kind of restructure the business and say, I'm only remaining with maybe 6 people, 4 have to go. The law provides for ways that you can separate.
But you can separate.
Yeah, so the key thing is really information, and go and look for people to help you with these kind of things. If you really foresee that you're going to have a problem, if you will handle it on your own. That's why you're a consultant, you have all the other people that
Mrs. Butler really said, I think I would have to do a lot of learning.
Everyday learning. Everyday learning to know.
No, it's everything is possible. It's really, like we said, a matter of making sure that your business, you have understood what you're doing, how you're going to do it, the team that you're bringing on board, make them understand what you're doing. And if for some reason you are not working together very well, separate with them. Be it relative or,
as soon as you can.
or not somebody who's not a relative. Of course, you should have also done a bit of training then before you just say, no, this one is not good enough. Sit down with it.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me on the business day. I am certainly going to set up another conversation because you've left a lot of things untouched, and now I am very interested.
It's been amazing. I've learned.
Yeah, well, I have learned a lot.
Mr. Katongo has really screwed us here about structure. I feel like it was a whole learning process for me, learning all over again.
Yes, so, indeed it has been. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for hosting us, Becky.
Dear viewers, you have been watching a conversation that has a lot that has been exhausted, and they've given us a lot of information, which I know a lot of entrepreneurs out there are really interested in just getting to have another conversation such as this one, like I am right now. I'm thrilled, I'm excited, because there's a lot more I need to learn about starting up a business. And so on that particular note, we're going to cross over to something, but do remember that this particular edition of the Business Day has been sponsored by Trade Kings. And of course, just when you're getting to have a hot day, grab yourself a bottle of Vatra, quench that thirst. See you after this.
So what does clear mean to me? It's having a clear vision of Ubefubu, a clear mind and a clear voice, being transparent about who I am in my lyrics, bar after bar this week. Vatra, hydrate, celebrate. So what does clear mean to me? It's having a clear vision of Ubefubu, a clear mind and a clear voice, being transparent about who I am in my lyrics, bar after bar this week. Vatra, hydrate, celebrate.
You're watching the Business Day, and today on Local Commodities we're doing it quite different. All the time we get to show you on our stock exchange rate, we also get to show you on focus on international as well as local commodity. And right now I am just trying to get more details on how much potato is selling at on the market. And yes, I'm here in Matero, where I get to take a look at some of the things that they face even as it comes to acquiring these potatoes, or maybe when they go to order the potatoes. What are some of the challenges? I am being joined by Jacqueline, a woman, or a lady rather, who sells potatoes. But firstly, Jacqueline, I want to understand, ma potato yanizingati manje saka?
Okay, I see an sizes. There is medium, it's 100 kwacha per punch. There is medium, sorry, it's 120. Small, it's 100 kwacha per punch. There is large and extra large, 130 per punch.
Okay.
Yes.
Jacqueline, I want to know, muka aya potato iyo ni order price ya memwa kamba. Okay, manye nezofuna ziba muka order pa 150. Let's say mwa order saka ikulu mwa order pa 150. Kuno mkabolo gulisa magulisa pa zingati.
Ngati ta order ya 130 kuno kugulisa it's 150. Ngati
muma peza mo profit.
20 kwacha profit. And in 20 kwacha we also transport.
Mapotato ya numa ya order kuti
Biabamba.
Biabamba yamene biabamba yatu.
Yes, Biabamba yamene just opposite Trade Kings many branch.
There has been a cry from a lot of people to say mapotato banala kwa kukamba kuti yasazinge na yao kukwina South Africa na kuti kozi biabamba balibe mapotato ya kuti ukagurisa upeza mo quality potatoes ushenizona.
Okay, currently my potatoes are per demand and the supply is low. So at least ngati washita kwa allow other countries like moyenzo bwera kwa ku south yenzo nkala ko better because apa mandi tindimbira na mapotato niyo vuta so kuti uya order che mapotato monga yayivuta. So at least when at least ma countries enango ya moyenzo chako south na konde at least siyenzo nkala ko better. And even the price right now is high. Ya dola maningi 120 akakasaka ndeka 120. So manje uti ukapime choka balance mushe ifutako. Yes.
Nanga chikabwela ku mukupima mwemwe yapimira so cha ayali apa mugulisa zinga?
Aya 10 kwacha oku 15 kwacha.
So muli akakasaka kangono mwa order kasaka kangono mukayagulisa kwa chapa profit mankala moya kuti munga kamba toke it's sustainable, you can feed your family and also take care of yourself. Olo kulivina ngvamemona kwati kasako bakachitako so vintu vinga balance.
I know the profit is not sustainable because nikakapwanya kankakapima izacho kama maybe 160 nikachosamo 130 ya order price nza sana 30 kwacha nikachosamo na transport which means isikapana sana 25 kwacha and then my potatoes kaili hapa currently singa kamba atiasila every day. So profit is really sustainable.
So na malosi yamapezeka.
Loss yamapezeka because yakagona mapotato ya maola. Yakaola titaya ni loss.
Aho ba Jacqueline ziko mokwambiri. Kaya mwiko na mawe mungafuna uza ko ba government pali nkanya kuti Biabamba yeka ndia order sama potato.
Aho mawe even nayo uza ba government tinga pempeko kuti at least supply. Inkare ko munga bashitako allow wenangwa zileta but munga kuli Biabamba yeka I think things are not okay. Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There you have it. We're still taking a look at how much our local commodity are selling on the market. And I was just talking to Jacqueline concerning potato prices. Let's take a look at other commodity on our local markets. Join me as we find out more. You are still watching The Business Day right here on Millennium TV, and right now I'm in the markets of Lilanda. And remember, this is focused on local commodity. We're trying to check how much cabbage is selling at, how much tomato is selling at, how much is a medal of beans. I am being joined here by my special madam.
Abigail.
Abigail, mungatiuze ko mitengo ya cabbage.
Cabbage umutengo imo turashitisha 10 kwacha na 15 kwacha imo.
Ngesa kamushita moda shinga cabbage.
Isaka ya cabbage turakwanisha okoda pali 300 bag imo.
Ukubula nga mwa oda pali 300. Nga mwashitisha mwananda tipamimula shitisha 4 kwacha. Na 10 kwacha. So nga mwashitisha pali 10 kwacha. Ushe profit yenu ila sangwa na ngumulapanga losi.
Sometimes turapanga losi, sometimes turasanga mwaka nono.
Okay. Nga box apa so nga twaachi to the box nishinga box ya tomato.
Box ya tomato twala yoda pa 230.
230.
Na 250.
Then ukushisha mleshisha shinga.
Tomato imo tureshisha 3 kwacha na 4 kwacha na 5 kwacha.
Ila fumia profit.
Sometimes limbikusanga mofe 5 kwacha nepo ya ingira.
Okay.
Pantuka ingena idula sana.
Okay. Nga twaisa kuri let's say impwa. Impwa ena nishinga pakuoda moda shinga.
Impwa ni 250 saka. Nomba tureshisha ma 5 kwacha na 3 kwacha. So kuti nalanda fe tamuni sana profit kange na fidure fintu.
Nga mwalolesha sana pali mitengo ya kushitira mwe fintu rangu kuoda. Nifinisha fe mwinga faya abantu bachinje.
Fa twinga faya abantu bachinje. Anesinga na kwa tempero winga oda kwe fintu fikwete kwa amani fa kwa batu fya kupera kwa profit.
Nga ba government mleti poshani.
Ba government bafile fe batu afirisha kaidi. Cho bade tusungira kutu wafuirisha batu wafuirisha paka watu abako improve kaidi. Tulechula sana fintu na fidula sana. Tulefa batu wafuirisha.
Okay, bye.
Kuri bazimai.
We are still looking at focus on local commodity. How much is Milli Meal selling in your area? And of course, we bring nothing but the very best of information on the business there because we're giving you exactly how much our prices are selling at. And I'm still here in Lilanda. Now I'm being joined by Mr. Wupe Msamba, who's just a businessman who deals in Milli Meal. And of course, twalafu atuishi weko babupe mlishani mkwe.
Ndifyo bwino katushi mwa basista.
Awe ndifyo bwino. Babupe, isaka ya bunga 25 kg mushitashinga?
Isaka ya bunga tureshita na ife tureshitisha ture pa 175 kwacha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then ngamwashitisha 175. Ngamwamba okupango tutupamela mufuma shinga?
Tutupamela mulafuma profit 10 kwacha so. Eyo tupanga mo profit.
Profit if
mkwa plus na ama plastics yayo tushita turabompya kwa ama plastic so so ira profit ira bako kwati nono ira chepako
no mainenda fokuishi baba bupi akaka pamela nishinga soka
akaka pamela kama akaso aka ni 5 kwacha veni akaka konka paka ni 2 kwacha veni aka ni 3 kwacha aka
ni 3 kwacha
mkwa
ero mlanda tinga mwafumye saka yonse 25 kg mufuma tungo
ututura fuma monango about 45 so
uturi 45
mkwa
so twali kwa tama different prices
twali kwa tama different prices ya 5 kwacha na 2 kwacha abantu basurvive sana sana mulanduka iri abengi tabare kwanisha masaka
kushite saka lya bunga
mkwa
ireli ashiriya saka lya bunga mulelanda poshani mulepo aba government bachite poishi pantu apa mulelanda tibali bwesha kote ushe ngabati babweshe ko futhi bafishe kona ngupali 140 kuti mwapanga ko profit kuchira pali 10 kwacha
ngababwesha ko kuti twapanga profit kuti yachira po pali 10 kwacha veni no bunga kuti twambo kukusha kona ife ngababwesha ko mtengo nishi akakapamira kala kula kona ife turakusha mkwae
so muni de mushisha kwati na ngutungo
muri de turashitisha nango 5 bags so
5 bags
but 5 bags above kuyafe pamo
so why sulama 5 bags of 25 kg Milli Meal
yes
what packing amuli one day twapwa
muri one day twapwa mkwae
so meaning abantu tabale kwanisha okushita bag ya Milli Meal but rather they would rather go for akapamela
tabale kwanisha mulando na buduro obunga na fuel so tabale kwanisha bare survive ra muri twine tupamela to etobale
moda kwisa obunga bwe
obunga bwandi ndoda ku jira dimiring
noma mwenda shani pantu apa mwana poneri ashiria fuel
sometimes kula bati tabale turetera turamukwisendera fo ibene na ma transport yesu sometimes bala letanga nabakwata mamotoka yabo
songa mwabompya transport yenu shera kwa mulaisanga mofuti 10 kwacha ya mwachilanda pa vest
nishi profit ira baya kuchepa ko fye sana kula bafe ku survive afye mulando ati nshitishe ko
kwati na ngushinga
kushitisha ko nango ifya para fye nango 20 so nango tushitishe ko fye mapamera
okay aho bamsamana tote we are still talking local commodity, and right about now I am just trying to find out. As you can see, we have quite a unique commodity, which is cooking oil, and it's actually being stored in tiny plastics. And joining me to help me just understand how much they make out of this commodity, how affordable it is for the local people to just get to, you know, use this commodity, even just for him to even go and order this commodity. I'm being joined by Mr. Kalobwe. Mr. Kalobwe, how are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Awe, ine? Ndio mfafe fidia? Katushinga na mwifi ndio mfa. Ndio mfafe wino sana. Pantu, I'm looking at how mwasanga mo business muni cooking oil. Twalishwa tabengi baishofa kuya mShoprite bachita cooking oil nomba kuno mresha cooking oil mtuma plastic ukut. So first question leo ni nkwata ya kutilati. Hii cooking oil ngamwapi mefine. Mupanga mo profit ishinga.
Hii cooking oil ngatwapi mefine. Panga mo profit ya 8 kwacha.
8 kwacha. Moda shinga.
Tula oda 700.
700. Ni bucket in 20 liter nishinge omoja.
Bucket 20 liter hii.
So mwayamu order 20 liter cooking oil. Then mwaisa mkushitisha. Mule order pali 700. 700. Then mule panga profit ya 7. Mule nashinga?
8 kwacha.
8 kwacha. Then kwa explain yo matine na impi.
Pantu turachisha mabotoro ngani botoro. Botoro ili molina 28. 28 kwacha. So nga maisha 28 kwacha. Kwa botoro nga muna ba mabotoro 26. So 26 ngmakita times 28. Mule sanga moni 28 kwacha. A profit.
So no. Aba kwanisha kushita mabotoro ya cooking okuno ni banga.
Abantu tabatware kwanchi barashafye mabotoro pe euro ya 2 wa 3. Abengi barashafye tutene twakupimisha oto.
Nomba akakoma chika tako kushinga.
Akani firi kwacha.
3 kwacha. Then akakambi?
Akani 2 kwacha.
So mlenje bati. Ngamwa order bucket 20 liter. Mrasanga mo profit 8 kwacha.
8 kwacha.
Then put kwali wane botoro yotre muna kunuma kuyeni. Yena mushisha 28 kwacha. 28
kwacha.
Batini ngimuri demra kwacha pakushisha mabotoro nangu ya bili.
Oya 3.
Oya 3. Then your number 3 is that direction. Ile ya straight kuri profit.
Ile ya ku profit. Number ta kwa profit sana. Utukweta profit nyutu.
Utukweta profit
nyutu.
So utunga mwapanga kwa tikso. Tukwamuli how many hours nangu. Ni one day onse nchinamu kwa tanangu mlapanga monangu tulishinga mude.
Utu pede kuti twapo tumpanyiro tuli 20 twapo.
So mwalikuwa tape ama client abaisa pe specifically mkodo mkushito twin. Muli dena 10 times
device.
So mule mwana poshani pantineni mbona ati mula mkoda 20 liter. Elo 20 liter tete muhimye kumino kufumoko muoda. Wali weli ashiria transport. Nomba mkwanisha shani pantinena ndati muoda 700. Muli 700 tete mufumye transport. Mufumye mwana profit ya kudira kungande ya kudipilira renti. Muwike pone ya kudipilira malaiti pari shop. Mkwanisha shani.
So utu nda mukota mumausero aya bakwa pepi. Siya kutawuni pantu kutawuni ngana karikire tete kuti tapali fyo ninda pana.
Mkwanisha kuno kwenda. Okay.
Ndo tafia mupepi mu 100 meters mu shop.
No patemo na shop ibaka. Yenu shop
hii shop tulekita ni rent.
Ni rent. Kama namule banga profit ya 8 kwacha. Munipira shani shop.
So hapa nomba kufua business tulakita kwa business ya minochu twinoto. Ngamuri ite to survive.
So okay, hapa kwa mwandu weba. Tuamu na noku muna tiite profit, that's tuite na profit. But then you spend the 700, then mwe mushte cooking or 20 liter buckets, but 700. So nomba mlepo wabuteko mmeafulishe shani pandri mungu afyo kubakulisha. Muli 700 kuya banga mope 8 kwacha profit. Mlepo wabuteko kuchite kuishi padi iliashi.
Hapa kubwesha kwa salary pantu pa face yali mu 400 na 500 babweshe or 400 at least.
So ngabai kwesha kuli 400 sala je umelanda tino sala je ali 400. Ngabai kwesha bwino cooking oil yaisa pali 400. Profit kuti aba kwatishika.
Profit kuti aba 300.
300. Apo ni shimwa ni sharenti, mwa cha kuno shop na kunganda ke. How twatotera and we hope ba government bawo. Twatotera mombe bwi.
Natasha mkwanya.
There you have it. That has been our local commodity. Focus on local commodity. This is what we do on the business day. We are trying to get it from the horse's mouth, you know. There is no way we keep on showing you figures that you definitely don't think that they are workable. Some of you, I'm sure you always get to say, we have seen it for ourselves. Okra is selling at 400 kwacha a bag. Mwebantu. Umulembwe 400 kwacha. Tomato. Idurefi. This has been Focus on Local Commodity with me, your girl, Rebecca Gombe. Join me on the other side as we continue talking more about business.
So what does clear mean to me? It's having a clear vision of Ubefubu, a clear mind, and a clear voice. Being transparent about who I am in my lyrics. Bar after bar addition. Vatra, hydrate, celebrate. So what does clear mean to me? It's having a clear...
Welcome back. On that particular note, we've come to the end of today's edition of the Business Day. Thank you so much for having joined me. Until tomorrow, same time, same place, as we discuss more business stories. Stay tuned to Millennium TV.